Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I'm not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Hey, thank you everyone for coming to see my show. I have a lot of information for you, and I hope you get it all in before the bell Monday morning. I have a killer events calendar at the end of this episode you just have to see. So let's set the table for this coming week, shall we? Starting with this headline from Bloomberg. From Tokyo to New York, stock markets are on a record-hitting spree around the world. 14 out of the 20 biggest stock markets are at or near record highs. With fewer obstacles in sight, the rally looks set to keep rolling. And then from Reuters, stock market's record-setting rebound may have further to go. Now, they may be right, guys. Inflation down, earnings up, rates heading lower, election coming up. I get it, but I just don't trust it for some reason. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but what I'm hearing from Bloomberg and Reuters is, Uncle Frank, why don't you come play with this friendly clown in the sewer? He likes you. He wants to make friends with you. If you follow him to his house, he's got a pool, Lambos, big booty Latinas, and even your favorite beer, Hacker's Shore. Roaring Kitty and Al from Boston are going to be there. Why don't you go play with him for a while? Nah, Uncle Frank is going to pass for now. Maybe next time. Let's start with a quick look back so we can clearly see exactly where we're starting from Wall Street breakfast. Wall Street witnessed a record-breaking week, primarily driven by the latest consumer inflation data. On Wednesday, the headline Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for April increased at a slower than anticipated rate. So is that like when your wife tells you, I spent more than last month, but not as much as you thought, asshole? Anyway, the core CPI did cool for the first time since October of 2023. Following the data, markets were off to the races as investors ramped up their Fed Reserve interest rate cut bets. The positive sentiment pushed the benchmark S&P 500 above the 5,300 point level for the first time ever. The post-CPI euphoria stalled somewhat over the final 2 days of the week, but a stellar earnings report from Walmart was enough of a catalyst to push the venerable Dow Jones Industrial Average past 40,000 points on Thursday in a historic first. For the week, the S&P 500 added 1.5%. The blue chip Dow rose 1.2%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq climbed 2.1%. Okay, so what kicked all this off? Well, here it is. U.S. core inflation steps down for the first time in 6 months. April reading offers some relief to Fed officials looking to cut interest rates. So the blue line shows the change in CPI excluding food and energy, and then the red bars show the change in CPI services excluding housing and energy, right? So there was a collective sigh of relief from central bankers, Wall Street, and regular folks this week. They mean us, guys, when a measure of underlying U.S. inflation cooled for the first time in 6 months. Okay, so if you take out everything expensive, prices are down. Got it. All right, I ask you, has anything in your world gotten cheaper because even my water bill looks like a car payment these days? Now, I want my subscribers to know that this U.S. inflation data we're talking about was accidentally released 30 minutes early. There's a full investigation underway. From the article, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics inadvertently published Consumer Price Index data 30 minutes early on Wednesday, raising fresh questions about how the agency releases some of the world's most sensitive economic information. What this tells me, guys, is certain people out there are used to getting this information 30 minutes before we do. This time, it leaked out. While there were no obvious signs that the early publication moved markets, the episode is likely to prompt a close look at the dissemination of data that has implications for global asset prices and Fed Reserve policy. Guys, there are elements of our government that desperately want to slash interest rates and tame inflation because it's an election year. But if you think some people don't get the information before we do, you're kidding yourself. Now, I put this segment together when this article was published on Sunday. This is Jared Isaacman. He's the CEO of Shift4 Payments, and he invested $5.7 million out of his own pocket into his company at a price per share between $66.84 and $67.32. Well, would you look at that? He's already in the money. Last quote on 4 I've got is $68.75. The man on your left is John Treese. He's the CEO of Treese Medical Concepts. He and 5 directors invested $4.5 million of their own money in the company, price per share between $4.50 and $5.35. The man on your right is Mr. John Barry, CEO of Prospect Capital. He invested $4.4 million of his own money into his company's stock at a price per share between $5.46 and $5.48. Mr. Barry also did a preferred convertible share offering in 2023. He offered out 72 million shares at $25 per share, raising over $1 billion for the company. The man on your right is Adam Aron, CEO of AMC Entertainment. He hasn't purchased a single share of AMC in over 6 years, but he did manage to sell over $42 million worth to the most devoted shareholder base of investors ever assembled. In fact, Adam, his entire management team, and the entire board of directors haven't purchased a single share of AMC in over 6 years, but managed to sell over $1 billion worth on the open market. In 2020, the year of the pandemic, a year that saw our theaters closed and Hollywood starving our business for releases, Adam's pay plan more than doubled from 2019. Like John Barry, CEO of Prospect Capital, Adam also devised a convertible preferred share offering, but instead of pricing it and selling it to devoted shareholders and institutions that would have gobbled it up, Adam elected to give those shares away as a dividend for free. You may know this convertible preferred share offering as the APE, the pounce. By the way, Mr. Barry of Prospect Capital hasn't sold a single share of his company's stock over the past 6 years, but instead invested $185 million out of his own pocket alongside his shareholders. In case you're wondering, the symbol for Prospect Capital is PSEC. At the time of this recording, it's up 45% over the past 5 years. It pays a dividend of over 12%, and it pays monthly instead of quarterly. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor, but I own PSEC. And for the Adam Aron fanboys that come in my chat to insist I stop bashing their CEO, you can all kiss my ass. It would appear that artificial intelligence may turn out to be more than just an investment for the hedgies or a new way to steal from retail, but it could also become a headache for them. From Traders Magazine this Sunday, NASDAQ enhances global market surveillance with Gen AI. NASDAQ announced the new AI-powered feature within its market surveillance technology solution that will significantly enhance the quality, speed, and efficiency of market abuse investigations performed by their clients. The solution leverages generative AI to streamline the triage and examination process involved in investigating suspected market manipulation and insider dealing, empowering regulators and marketplace clients to more effectively monitor and detect potential market abuse. During proof of concept testing, Surveillance analysts estimated a 33% reduction in investigation time with improved overall outcomes. What I'm reading here is the time to cheat with impunity is running out for the bad actors on Wall Street. The technology has existed for over a decade to stop the cheating, in my opinion. If you add this to CAT, we may have something here. Now, guys, let me tell you something. Uncle Frank does not wear a tinfoil hat. I don't sign up for every conspiracy theory that rolls out, but I don't trust anyone, and I know some people will do anything to maintain power, including starting a war. We've only got 169 days to the next election, and you have to keep your eyes wide open. Now, let's do some swan watching. From Metro, at the time of this recording, the Iranian president is missing after a helicopter crash. There is a high probability of casualties due to the helicopter crash's high level of severity. Iranian television quoted a source as saying, "It's not clear whether the president survived the crash yet." Russia seizes Deutsche Bank and Unicredit assets. So the Russian government has seized the assets of two banks. Uncle Frank, what's this got to do with us? Well, maybe nothing, but for those of us on Swan Watch and interested in the future of crypto, geopolitical events, and cross-border payments, we see this as the chess pieces moving on the board. Russia and China vow to stand together against the United States. Amidst escalating global tensions, Russia and China are tightening their alliance, showcasing a unified stance against American policies. From Watcher Guru 2 days ago, China dumps the largest U.S. treasuries in history. IMF confirms U.S. dollar is in jeopardy. Russia and China have been making big economic moves. The economic interactions between Russia and China are telling of a strategic move away from reliance on Western economic structures. Recently, China offloaded a staggering $53.3 billion in U.S. treasuries and bonds, the largest such sell-off it has ever conducted, occurring in the first quarter of 2024. And from Saturday, oil tanker struck by missile off Yemen coast. As Ukrainian drones relentlessly target Russia's energy complex, tensions in the Middle East are once again rising. Early Saturday, it was reported that a crude oil tanker was hit by a missile off the coast of Yemen. These mounting geopolitical risks underscore the possible need for a higher risk premium on Brent crude prices. Also from Saturday, U.S. sending nuclear-powered carrier for higher stakes Red Sea mission. Since the start of the Gaza war, at least 20 ships have been damaged in the Red Sea amid the ongoing Houthi campaign to punish Israel and its international backers. The U.S.-led Operation Prosperity Guardian is something which has retreated from headlines as it has by and large proved ineffective. U.S. warships patrolling waters off Yemen have shot down dozens or possibly even hundreds of drones and missiles at this point, while also at times carrying out offensive operations. But the Iran-supported Houthis have remained undeterred. The Pentagon is now readying the next step, sending the USS Harry S. Truman nuclear-powered aircraft carrier into the Red Sea. U.S. military magazine Stripes writes of the recent planning, quote, "The nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and its 6,000-some sailors have spent recent months training in the Western Atlantic Ocean for that mission, a rare, pre-planned deployment expected to take the ship into a hostile environment." I want you guys to know that the business of lending out securities to be shorted is alive and well. Global securities lending revenues rise 20% year over year for April, says DataLend. The global securities finance industry delivered $828 million in lending revenue in April of 2022, a 20% increase on April of 21, according to data from DataLend. The top 5 revenue-generating securities for April: Rivian, HYG, Sweetgreen, Beyond Meat, and GameStop. These 5 securities generated more than $53 million in lending revenue during the month. Where's AMC, Uncle Frank? Yeah, wait till they publish the May results. Don't ever forget, AMC was the top generator of revenue for stock lenders on the planet in 2023, a tiny company in Kansas. Do you think your CEO was obligated to mention that fact to you? Of course he was. I want you guys to see the war between the left and the right that's going on Wall Street. Let's go back to March. Steve Mnuchin and Kenny Griffin rescue a troubled bank in New York, right? From the New York Times. Steve Mnuchin backs New York Community Bank in $1 billion deal. But then 3 days ago, NYCB falls as profitability comes into focus after $5 billion loan sale. Also 3 days ago, Soros Fund Management dumps New York Community Bank stake, so a big lefty pulling out. Then 2 days ago, New York Community Bank Chief Operating Officer is stepping down. And then today, just 6 hours ago, Charles Schwab Investment Management increases stake in New York Community Bank Corp. Now, even though Uncle Frank is an arch conservative, he's rooting against this shitty bank because Kenny owns a piece. Not investment advice or advisor, but I personally still believe XRP is the best trade setup I've ever seen. XRP Ledger on-chain transactions surge 108% in Q1. From the article, the XRP Ledger recorded a significant surge in activity with on-chain transactions shooting up by 108% in the first quarter of 2024. This spike in transactions from 121 million in the last quarter of 2023 to 251 million highlights a growing engagement within the XRP ecosystem. And guys, listen to this part. Simultaneously, the cost for each transaction on the XRPL experienced a sharp 45% decline, bringing the average transaction fee down to just 0.000856. This reduction in cost is indicative of the network's efficiency improvements and the absence of congestion, as noted in Ripple's latest quarterly XRP markets report. I don't want you guys to worry. Uncle Frank is keeping tabs on every dirtbag that Adam used to screw us. You remember Himanshu Gulati of Antara Capital. AMC investors sue Antara Capital over short swing ape profits. And then a month ago, Blackstone-backed hedge fund Antara freezes illiquid assets. That's so his investors can't get their money out, right? Then 3 days ago, Blackstone seeks to offload $450 million of credit at a discount. Also 3 days ago, Blackstone mortgage, charge-offs, and declining rates pose risk. And then just yesterday, investors in Blackstone's and Starwood's funds pull out money. That's because of the commercial real estate crisis. I promise you this, they will all reap what they sow in the end. All right, guys, let's get ready for the bell. Since we know the hedgies are balls deep in NVIDIA and they're reporting earnings Wednesday after the bell, we're going to put that on our calendar, which we'll review at the end of this episode. And yes, I like NVIDIA, but I'm rooting for the hedgies to get rug pulled if you're actually still wondering. From 1 day ago, world's biggest hedge fund boosts its stake in NVIDIA stock. 2 days ago, hedge funds pump up exposure to NVIDIA, cut AMD. And again, NVIDIA tops hedge fund buys as interest in AI stocks fuel market gains. But what's the other side of the story? From Noah's Ark Capital Management, NVIDIA Q1 preview, Competition is now real. Rating downgrade. NVIDIA Corp's strong FY 2024 has made it one of the most valuable companies globally, but competitive pressure from companies like Google, Meta, Intel, and AMD could impact its market share. Intel's new AI accelerator chip, the Gaudi 3, poses a significant threat to NVIDIA's flagship GPU, offering better performance and competitive pricing. AMD is gaining ground in the market, with Microsoft hosting models on its MI300X chips, increasing competition for NVIDIA. Now here's another obstacle and adjustment for the hedgies to jump over, and I'm putting it on our calendar. All the brokers should be T+1 by Tuesday, May 28th. You should be getting emails from your brokers, and I've gotten some announcing the changeover. Beginning May 28th, the SEC will shorten the standard settlement period for equity securities from 2 days to just 1. This means affected securities traded on or after this date will settle on the new T+1 basis. All right, there it is. How many times have I said it? The hedgies have a hell of a lot more to worry about than we do. We're not leveraged 60 to 1. I don't have unrealized losses on my books. I don't worry about regulatory crackdowns. I don't worry about securities sold yet not purchased. I'm not worried about reconciling billions of synthetic shares, if they exist. And that's mainly because if the float is really only 296 million, I know Adam's been on another dilution selling spree, but bear with me. And let's say there's only 3 million apes left. That means we only own 99 shares each on average, not including institutions, which I know is complete bullshit, because everyone watching this video owns at least 5x that amount, so save it. On Wednesday, May 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we get existing home sales. Then at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, minutes of the Fed's May meeting will be released, and then NVIDIA's earnings after the bell. On Thursday, May 23rd, 9:45 a.m., S&P Flash U.S. Services and Manufacturing PMI. Now, Friday the 24th, the new Mad Max movie Furiosa drops, and this is the Memorial Day weekend. I don't care what you think about fundamentals. Monday, we got another Spider-Man movie dropping, and we have to kill it over this holiday weekend, especially in front of T+1 and Cat. Trust me on this. You don't want to bomb on this holiday weekend. So get your asses to the theaters. On Tuesday, May 28th, we get the SEC deadline for T+1. On Friday the 31st, you already know, it's the initial Cat live day. Guys, I know I've cried wolf on the box office numbers before, but this time it's different. We want the hot headlines going into this regulatory week, next week, especially on the heels of what happened last week. They are short, and we want to talk them out of it. Hey, this just came in as I was wrapping this video, so I thought I'd share it with you. F-16 scrambled as Russian missile enters NATO airspace. Here's hoping we don't wake up to mushroom clouds in Poland tomorrow morning. And just one closing comment. The chair of the Fed has COVID, again, so he's working from home. Yeah, wear your mask, dork. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.